Welcome to Feldy. Now get your butt out there and start farming.
Well, everyone, we've received our marching orders. Welcome to Feldy, created by Farmer Yip for Farming Simulator 11. We'll do a quick cycle of our equipment and get this episode going. Actually, we'll pause here for a moment. We won't do a cycle. Let's finish filling this combine. We are out here on the island field. We're actually almost full. We'll take one more spin. I really like this combine. It's a hillside, and enjoy it all the more because I made it do what it does. Let's get it moving, and we'll fill it up and send it off to market. I like the views from this big ol' island. I'm trying to get around the corner. Probably should hire the thing so I don't have to watch it so close. Definitely a good view up here. And this particular episode, we started it once more hearing the voice of Farmer Yip himself. This is our 120th episode on this particular map, and I think we're about done. I think I'm ready to move on to another, whoops, we're full here. Ready to move on to another map and give it a go. So we will spend just a few more moments here on this map to see just the last couple of things before we kick off to another. We really only have one more task to do, which is to do the secret mission. So we'll do that here in a moment, but I just wanted to run our little combine out here one more time. We'll just leave it where she sits, and I'll maybe fill this up here with grain and get it going to market. There we go. I already have a course play set up, which is going to take it from here clear over, I think it's right over in here where the brewery is, long ways over there, so it'll go on the road network kind of up over the top of this hill. We almost get a full trailer load from this particular combine, and I wonder if I could start it from here. The end of, it's kind of right over here. I don't know. I'll get this turned around. Then I'm going to turn it loose on the course and... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can't. I gotta... We have the mod in here that causes our fuel to be used up very rapidly, so I'll maybe just escort this one out of the field and fill it with fuel before we send it on its way to market. So we'll just kind of leave it here. We got more work to do in the island field. There are lots of fields ready for harvest that we're simply not going to be able to get to. And before we close out the map, we'll for sure take a peek at what is kind of left here that we're going to leave for the next time if we ever return to this wonderful map that I've truly enjoyed these past episodes. Alright, let's get it full of sauce and we'll send it on its way. There we go. Alright, continuing. Let me see here. Feed trainer. Something else we need to get going. Let me get my cultivator going. It should still remember the course. We'll see if it does. It does. And maybe it will finish this up. We did a little off-cam. As we all know, we spread some muck There also would be some dry fertilizer to spread. We're probably not going to get to that in here. It has a different texture, but I've been enjoying seeing the new textures here that Farmer Yip had hidden in his map, and we found out about them too late, at least in terms of how to activate them. But that is the way it is. But we already have this field over here, and this one, these were formerly potatoes, ready to go for fall planting. Alright, let me see here. Trying to think. I believe if I go to 1, I think what I need to do, let me see how many are in the map here. Let me go back to get over to the hog trough. Alright, it's done producing pigs. Amazing. It still amazes me how quickly it went when, 65,000 hogs units. When creating eggs goes so bloomin' slow, you just wonder why some things are so much quicker in here. So we have now way more hogs than we need, but that's okay. You may recall, actually let me pull this up here again, the final dosh plant. Alright, you'll see what we have. Potato, eggs, we need some pigs. So we're gonna load a few up and haul them down to the church. And this then will finish the final, or the secret mission that Farmer Yip installed into the map. And we'll finish things off with that. I believe we gotta back into here to pick up the hogs. Listen to the psh, psh, psh. Oops, I'm gonna scrape the old doorway if I'm not careful. Sure, it's never been done before. Okay, maybe I need to be more centered. Oh, I see my money going up because, come on, there we go. There we go. Just had to be in the right spot. Alright, 10,000 units of hogs. That should be plenty to take care of the secret mission. So we'll make our way down to the church. And already we see the business of the farm is never done. We're full of slurry or liquid manure over here. We got room in our clamps for grass, for corn. We have loads of solid manure over there. That's the one I'm not going to take time to show, but it also has its own unique texture when you put it on the ground and would be fun to use, but we just didn't quite get to it. Oh yeah, this thing has, this is quite a mod. Yeah, we got just looking at the hazard lights. So we will get this to the dosh plant, conveniently located at the church, where the bell rings periodically and it has the clock that works. So many things in this map that I've come to appreciate, and I hope you have too, over these many episodes, as to the creative genius of Farmer Yip. And something else that we'll cover too after we kind of take a final look at the map. We finish this mission here. This wasn't the only map that Farmer Yip did for Farming Sim 11. I believe there was 2 others, and we'll see those in a moment. I'm guessing this particular one was his 3rd, and it is definitely, to me, the most attractive of the 3. I think his first map was a small one, and it was for Farming Sim 11. I don't think he produced any for Farm Sim 09. And then I think that there was one other, and then Feldy. So we'll see those in a bit. In the meantime, we are wending our way down. Don't hear any trains overhead. Go by a few more happy sheep. There really are sheep everywhere on here. Probably the animal of choice, maybe a Farmer Yip. Or maybe he just didn't have any other static. Well, yes, he did. I guess he does have static animals for hogs and cattle. Oop! Oh my, almost fell off the bridge. Oop. Oh! Long trailer. I think our pigs are surviving. We'll just head over here. Alright, we're going to run over a little hedge, but I don't think the townspeople mind. If you'll excuse me, pedestrian, we'll try to keep from harming you. And here we go. No. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get me on the trigger. Aha. Okay. Hopefully everybody can hear that. By the way, this was a change we made. I don't remember which episode it is. He's emptying out my trailer here, but I put some grunting of hogs in there, and so that when you are emptying hogs, you hear those. You may recall that when we sold those at the general market, oh, that's probably our... You know what? Let's zip down there real quick. We'll let this work. Not sure. Hey! I wonder if that's the surprise. Alright, well, let's finish this field up here real quick. All I gotta do is zip around, and then I want to go up and see what that contraption is, kind of up top of the hill. Yeah, I really... That thing up on the hill, yeah, it's creating all this dosh, but I don't even know what dosh is. You know, I should have looked that up. Is it putting something in our inventory? Dosh, 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 no dosh. Well, shoot, I don't know. Yeah, just don't know. So, like I say, I'm kind of, maybe I shouldn't have come down here and just looked up the hill. So it appears the secret mission established some kind of building or whatever kind of up on top of the hill. So, kind of want to zip up there in a moment and see what's up. Take this off. Take care of one last little strip on here. Yeah, must have just been not quite wide enough. Okay. Meanwhile, our dosh plant is still going furiously. What the soup is that? Looks like a bunny rabbit. I wonder if I can get up the hill here. Maybe if I gingerly step up the sheer, do some rock climbing. Well, very interesting. It even has the letters FMC kind of right on the side of it. Well, I don't know what to make of that, but there you have it, folks. Farmer Yip's secret mission. Looks like the wheels aren't going. You know what it reminds me of is a Trojan horse. You know, the thing way back in the day, they left a wooden massive horse at the gate of an enemy. I don't know who did it. And inside were soldiers, and so they took it in overnight, the enemy did. And then in the middle of the night, the soldiers inside came out of it, and they opened the gate so that all the main army could rush into the city and take it over. I wonder what kind of a Trojan horse this is. FMC. I think that was a modding group back in the day. I'll just turn that off. It's making dosh by the thousands and thousands of units, but I don't even know what that means. Well, very interesting. Who knew that the surprise would be a massive wooden bunny rabbit, kind of overlooking the train, which we just heard toot a little bit ago. It's kind of a neat vantage point. I haven't come up here that I can recall. Speaking of the train, there it goes. Kind of nice to see it still working. I know that's one item we fixed on the map so that it would work. You know, maybe one more thing I think I would like to do as part of saying goodbye to Feldy is there's an airplane mod, and it's one of those where the modder locked the file up, so I can't study the Lua code, and nor can I hardly fly this silly thing. $100,000 airplane. Alright, I'm gonna get one, and we're gonna see if I can fly it above the map. This here, you know what, I'll just leave it here. It isn't going to hurt anything. Alright, here is our plane, and oh boy. Well, look at that. Have you ever seen such flying skills? Okay, I'm trying to see. I have it straight up. I'm making little control inputs. I think I can head right and left. There's one of our barges. Alright, we'll kind of pass over here. Now I think we're on the... Oh, I better watch out. You know, this tells me how high I am. I gotta make sure I stay above these peaks. We're on the far northwest corner of the map. If I can keep it straight. Kind of following the barge around. You know, this is a good way to see the skybox, if you will. You can kind of see the corner of it way off there at the southwest. And you see good old Feldy down below. I'm not going to go down there. I maybe should dive bomb, but you know what would happen to me if I attempted to dive bomb? I think I would end up in the drink. So I'm going to just stay up where I know what's good for me. And this thing is jittering away. There's maybe, for all I know, this is going to crash on me any minute. The game, I mean, not to be plane. There's the wharf that we created. Here we can see below, kind of in detail, the amount of the island field that still needs to be harvested. We're up high enough, we're beyond the clip distance of the combine, so we can't see it, but we can see kind of where things left off. There, I think I'm getting the hang of this. Trying to fly around the map. You can see the air, the southeast corner of the skybox off in the ocean. Down below is where we would sell the animals. And there's the BGA. There's a barge sitting outside it. And we're going by, that's the dairy down there with where the milk gets taken. We're going by all the fields we put potatoes in. Anyway, going by the fields that are kind of up on the hillside, the place that we kind of harvest last. Just taking another good look around the old home before we say goodbye. I'm seeing lots of the additions that we put into the map and lots of work still to do, you know, as we consider that we're on the cusp of another harvest. All the fields are pretty well ripe. Oh, there's another barge way off in the distance. I can just keep this plane up. Yeah, if I hit the F1, it would show the controls, and I don't even know the terminology for an airplane. Yeah, there's a northeast corner of the skybox. Probably at some point, if we got high enough, in theory, we would burst through it. Anyway, don't want to do that. Oh, look at those horrible streaks on our red clover field. Well, let's try to get up. I see it does give me an altitude. Wish I knew just how that worked. Fly over the sheep. And down below, of course, is the fish field. Yeah, this down below us directly is a new field that we put in. It was peas the first year. Now it looks sort of like it's wheat. Just trying to get it turned around. I was thinking I would maybe try to fly through the fish field. Woo! I was taking a risk. I could see my shadow on the ground. Has anybody ever used this mod? It's a little Piper plane, it's called. I have the power all the way up. Yeah, I'm just got to stay above the hills here. We're kind of flying the main home place here. Going by. Flew over the chickens. They all got scared and none of them are going to lay any eggs for the next month. Kind of flying over our fields of corn. There's the Feldy indicator. Oh, I just gotta keep this up. This thing would never fly like this in real life. I don't remember if I saw the quarry the first time I flew over. Let me head over that way, kinda. Over on this quadrant of the map, this go around, we have a whole bunch of, yeah, there's a quarry. Alright, we are back, sort of, kinda, sorta, flying over the quarry and kind of the northwest corner of the map. As I kind of feared, the game eventually crashed on me. I think I have way too many things going on in here. So probably the sooner I get out of this, the better. Just kind of going over, oh, there's a barge down below the northwest corner here and seeing some of the things we did on the map. And the trouble is, I gotta figure out how to land this silly thing, and it probably isn't gonna be pretty. But anyway, actually, maybe as one last thing we can do, why don't I fly over? I'll just draw a bearing on it far up ahead, if I can keep the plane aloft, and we'll just kind of go fly right over the top of the bunny rabbit here. That was Farmer Yip's secret project for us, and I gotta figure out how to get this up in the air further because I don't know if I'm gonna clear it. Come on, give me some altitude. About flying straight up. There we go. Alright, there you have it. Our final surprise from the secret mission. And maybe what I'll do is see if I can get this back over to a place where I can land it. I'm scraping the treetops right here, which isn't what I want to be doing. And this is a ticklish thing to fly. I don't know if the best way to land it is going to be kind of out on, if I can find a straighter area. Let me see here. How do the pilots do this? And kind of landed in a field almost. I'm going to call that pretty decent. Except how do you steer it once you're on the ground is the problem. And maybe if I can just kind of chop it over in here just a little bit, I will call that a good effort. And get it over here. Phew! Oh, now it's going backwards. I bet it's not supposed to be doing that. Alright, maybe let me hop out before it does anything further. Yeah, not a step. Well, folks, thank you so much for coming along with me on my journey through Feldy. Clear over in the distance, we can kind of see the final secret mission, if you will. But for the moment, I think I'm going to bid everyone adieu on this wonderful map. And I'm at least going to hit save so I can take care of that and save my spot, and out we go. But wait, there's more. Okay, before closing, I at least wanted to mention the two other maps that Farmer Yip made for Farming Simulator 11. I got them in a directory here somewhere. Yeah, this is my Farming Sim 11. I think I put new mods. Here it is. Okay. One is called Into the Valley, and it's FSUK is where he released it. That side is down. I don't think this is available anywhere now. And, I talked to Farmer Yip back in the day, and I got permission, of course, to release Feldy on his behalf. I put it on Mod Hoster. Maybe I'll talk to him and see if I can contact him again and ask if we could put these two also on Mod Hoster. So one was called Into the Valley, the other was called, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Kincraigie. So I have the PDA maps of both. I think this was Farmer Yip's first. This would have been Into the Valley. And you see it's really a small map, and it's kind of hard to tell. This probably was made as Farmer Yip was developing his skills. So you won't see, for example, the color of water out here. He would do that later when he made Feldy. He also didn't do that over on Kincraigie. But you can tell, there is a port. So I have a feeling most of this is water. Maybe this is a couple, and you just can't really tell if these are islands or what he had intended. But you kind of see his style. He's numbering his fields. He's labeling the map. A lot of mappers back in the day. Some did this, some didn't. And he also, of course, did that on Feldy so that we knew where various things that we needed for farming were. So that's Into the Valley. This one here, Kincraigie, A little more complex, so I'm assuming, and a little bit larger. This now is more a full scale. Maybe the water's over here, and this area he chose to leave undeveloped. That would be my guess. Although, again, I just can't tell. You know, you have the harbor port over here, so we'd have to literally open the map to kind of see what it looks like inside. And maybe, like I say, I can contact Farmer Yip and see if I can get these sent up to Modhoster. Please leave a message in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. I know there's been a lot of downloads of Feldy for those still interested in playing some of these old games, and it'd be nice to have these other legacy maps saved on there and preserved for those who appreciate the artistry that went into making apps of these older games. So I assume you did this one right before Feldy, which we spent 120 episodes on. So I thought I would just share these other two apps as part of the closing episode on Feldy. And I say closing, who knows? Maybe one day we'll be back. Just kind of hard to say, but for now I think I'll close the series off with 120 episodes on Feldy. Thank you so much to those of you that came along for the ride. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do give it a download if you want to try it yourself. And I think you'll find, like I did, it was a map truly ahead of its time and containing features that most other maps wouldn't see until much, much later in the Farming Sim franchise. Thank you, Farmer Yip, for creating something that has given me hours and hours of enjoyment, as well as being a reason for this series. Thanks again, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.